Hello, this is Keith Lamont. I'm working on AI War 2. We've been doing a lot of recording the programming, that kind of thing. Today, I'm going to record testing. Specifically, just trying to play through it, see what's the biggest barriers to actually playing this game and enjoying it. That's kind of subjective, but some things, they get pretty clear. The version number still says 503. It's just because I haven't updated to get Chris's. No, I actually haven't created a version 504 record. Though theoretically, I'm working on version 504 here. So, I'm going to start with the first planet already controlled by me. I'm figuring that a lot of you are going to play that way, so let's see how it works out. Okay, so here we are. It's going to automatically produce our initial triangle fleet of fighters, bombers, and corvettes, missile corvettes. I think it's probably going to keep doing that. I don't know. It didn't do that in Classic, and I think there's an argument for having it not do it here, but we'll see. So here's our starting zone. Looking at resources around here. One thing is it'd be nice to visualize resources. So I'm going to make a note of that. I actually have a note here from an earlier test that I had to cancel real quick. That homeworld should not get hacking points, because most worlds don't get any hacking points. And I don't want people to keep restarting the game until they get a home world with hacking points. Way to visualize which resources, which planets have how much of which resources on the galaxy map. I think that would be very helpful. I mean, you're often not going to be making your conquering decisions on the basis of resources. But there are times, like if you need hacking points. Yeah, there's some more hacking points over there. So, as far as our initial goal here, there's not really anything that's visible strategically right now. That's something actually I should bear in mind, is the seeding practices of the game are such that you tend to not have anything special revealed in your initial scouting. A few interesting strategic objectives within the first two hops of the home world. Okay, so all that said, let's move. There's more hacking points over there. Let's move that way, and then we'll destroy that sensor scrambler right there and reveal more of the map. So first we're going to conquer Bastille. We've got a fleet. We could probably go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to send the fleet to Bastille. In the meantime, I'm going to build okay, that's buggy. The layout of that was all wrong. No? Well, was it? Yeah, it kind of is. It's... I don't know. I think it's actually more or less correct. It's just... it's got things in a weird order. So anyway, yeah, and I need to rework this build menu. We've got to just start from the bottom up to have the different tabs along here, and then my arc is probably getting shot up right now. I don't care. And then all the different things in the selected tab up here. And there's different mark levels. It's like, yeah, do we have them there? Probably not. We want it to all fit on that line. And so you click on it, and then above that, it'll if there's multiple mark levels, it'll show them there. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but I think that's what we want to doing. And then above that is going to be the build queue. Might actually put the build queue over here vertically. I don't know. We'll find out. Revise build menu. Tabs go along bottom, just above command menu. Items in selected tab go left, right, above the tabs. Probably only show one mark level of each. If item clicked and has more than one mark level, show the individual mark levels on left, right row above that. Show active queue on right hand side of the screen vertically. That way it'll be clear that you're not looking at build options, you're looking at what's currently in the queue. So we want to build a starship constructor here, so I have something that's strong. I also want to build turrets. I'm just going to do the pattern thing. Okay, that's not a lot of turrets, so alright, so yeah, here's our fleet. We're going to send in... one thing I'm looking for here is tractor turrets. I see tractor turrets here. There's that little flare with looks like kind of like a chain. Chris and the others, they did a good job on a lot of these flares. I'm not sure that any of them they did a bad job on. You know, I can typically tell, okay, that's tractor, that's flak. I used to pay a lot of attention to flak because before I rebalanced AoE, they would shred your arc shields like no tomorrow. Now they're more reasonable, although we are seeing some problems here. But it's not because the AoE is imbalanced, I think. Alright, so... Alright, let's make a push here. I want to take out that tractor turret. Yeah, the problem is that if you give an attack order, things spread out. They don't really move toward it. I don't know if that's the thing I want or not. But I want that tractor thing dead. I like how the capacity on it is set right now so that when it takes casualties, it properly loses capacity, and the capacity is not overwhelming so that it can like tractor your entire fleet with just one. Okay, so there's still some nastiness there, but nothing that's gonna like separate my fleet. So once I get the shields back up, there shouldn't be anything that will stop me from just kind of plowing through that. Okay, just scrapping it. Okay, so I'm over here. There's the constructor. I want it to loop. I just want it to produce every type of starship. I'm going to go over here, put a note on, put the build queue controls under the queue. So, not next to the build menu properly. And if you have any thoughts on the layout of the build menu, or you think I'm crazy, by all means let me know. I'm happy for the feedback. Alright, so I sure hope this is recording. Okay, it looks like it should be. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Am I seeing levels here? Yeah, okay. I'm probably just paranoid, but I have had moments in the past. There are a number of videos that never saw the light of day because the audio was all messed up. Alright, so one thing is, I guess this planet doesn't have a lot of power. No, it's got a pretty normal amount of power, I guess. I'm not sure. It just seems like I should be able to have more turrets than just a couple needlers. I'm not sure what it is. So let's take. Now we're going to steamroll Bastille now because we've got all those starships. We are out of fuel because we've built all the starships. Okay, let's. Okay. But it's okay to be out of fuel, as long as you're not counting on being able to produce more. Some of these things over here are not actually being selected by me because they're drones from the carrier starships. You can't control those directly. Okay, so let's just move in park. So we're going to go ahead and set these, flag these as capture these. I'm going to capture that one when I get there. It's definitely a change from. Where's the controller? Okay, there's the controller. Definitely a change from classic to Wii. Oh, come on. Yeah, that graphical thing. It'll duplicate your icons until you tab out and tab back in. Deal with that sometime. Pattern. Boom. Yeah, so it's like, where'd all that come from? And wait a second, is it going to be... okay, it's... I'm not quite sure why it still shows me as having more power. I mean, I don't have more power. I mean, I'm sure I've maxed out the amount. Why are these things exploding? Power cost. I mean, what's going on? Replacement starships. Build. Let's see what happens here. Nothing. But actually, the reason I can't build very many turrets here is I built that starship constructor, which hogs 670 power. Which, you know, there's a trade-off to having a shipyard. And it makes a good reason to have some internal territory that you're not having to defend actively. So why is it that it still says I have more? So why didn't it use, when I did the turretry pattern, why didn't it use this? Maybe it ran out of placement spots or something. The turretry pattern thing is something we kind of have to revisit in general. And this is just something that's done here. So when in unit placement mode, escape and backspace should cancel it. Yeah, well, the turret placement modes, they're kind of lame. Or the mode is kind of lame because it's like a huge part of the decision making in the original game was what turrets to place and where to put them. At the same time, a huge amount of the time you spent was where do you put the turrets and which ones do you put down. I think there's something valuable in being able to automate that to a degree. That said, just build an even distribution of all the turret types right around the thing that's giving the command is not. There's other ways to do that. I like to do things like this is some leftover images. I like to do something like, okay, for each wormhole that is bordering a planet that we don't currently own, or maybe even we don't currently own it and we're not planning to take it, then put turrets around that in different range rings according to what the ranges on those turrets are, with some shields covering the wormhole or whatever. So those can be defined by modding. So there's a large degree to which I can just provide the tools to make the distinctions you need, and kind of let players figure out exactly how they want to automate their turret building. I'm not saying that every individual player needs to be writing code, but that you wouldn't have to rely solely on us getting the right things. Okay, so here we are at our Mark II planet. One thing is that with a fleet this large, it's just very difficult to keep everything under the arc shield, which is not, entirely unreasonable. You shouldn't be able to fight always under shields, or always under one shield anyway. Nor will that shield hold up very much under even Mark II fire, as we're seeing, let alone 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's hunt down some of these guardians over here. Are there any turrets that we're worried about? It doesn't look like it to me. I don't see any tractor turrets. So let's go ahead and pin those guardians against the grav well so we can take them down. Looks like our arc shields are basically down. No, that was a shield starship that was repairing itself. So, yeah, the arc shields are not completely down, but they're pretty low. So that brings up a commonly raised point: is show arc shields and hull on a resource display at the top somewhere. Obviously, there's a lot of layout we need to do with this to make it reasonable. I mean, the wave counter and the CPA counter, it's just makes a mess of things. All right, so yeah, here's some more starships. I think partly that's casualties, partly that's just we gained access to fuel. Okay, so we now have a little bit more intel. I think pretty much the only planet we can see now that we couldn't see before was this one, this Mark IV right here. And I don't really want to take down a Mark IV, or I don't want to try to take down a Mark IV right now, even with all those starships. So let's just move. I think I'm going to go out to Perlman next. It'd be nice if this was oriented more closely to how it is on the map. I'm not quite sure why the angle never seems to be quite right. Alright, so we want to take the I just want to leave some kind of defense behind. Okay, there we go. And again, it didn't actually use all the power. I think it ran out of spots next to. Okay, there it is. It just ran out of space because it was trying to be too close to it. Okay, so I want you to go through Perlman. No. We got some backup starships coming through too. Alright. Are there any turrets I need to worry about here? There's some plasmas, but those aren't going to stop us. I'm not seeing any tractors, so let's just charge. One way is this keeps my bombers and fighters in range and gives them more targets to pick from. Because if they're completely out of range, which isn't hard for a fighter or a bomber being short-ranged, then they're not doing any good. And if they are only in range of a few things, they'll probably wind up shooting at things. Okay, this is not what I want you to do. I got stuck on the shields. Yeah, you want the fighters and bombers to be shooting at things they're good at killing, or that are important to kill, not just whatever happens to be in range. And they will pick good targets, generally speaking, if the arc. It's that graphical bug is kind of annoying. Okay, so we want 0.1 capture this planet. Yeah, what I was saying here is it's very different from the original game to be able to be making decisions on the galaxy map like through the interface. But I think being able to just literally click on the planets you intend to take and flag them for I'm going to take this, and then have your units honor that decision one way or the other is good. That way, you're not accidental. Well, you can actually kill the controller by accidentally clicking on it, because that was one of the requests, because people didn't want to have to always remember to use the galaxy map, which is reasonable. My novel ideas as to how these things should be laid out, I'm sure, are quaint to some of you. And there's tons and tons of starships that got built to replace what was lost last time. I just tried to give this thing an order to send its guys that way. I don't know if it's going to work though. Okay, so what's going on there? I gave it those shift orders, and it seems like they were coming back through or something. I don't know. It may have just been a visual bug. Okay, I'm actually kind of thinking Alex Sleater here, this Mark IV planet. I'm not sure. We went to. This is a low power planet, so it's not gonna. It's low on power, specifically low on power is what it's called. So it doesn't have the same capacity for turretry. As the ones with 2,000 power, but it also did have more metal. So it's I've got lots of metal at this point. It's kind of the balance of the metal game is not really there. Well, especially once you get a few planets, it's like, how would I use that much? Well, there are ways. So let's go ahead and use some of our built-up science knowledge, whatever we call it. Okay, I opened the tech menu and nothing happens. That would be a bug. Figure out who took the tech menu. No, that's not exactly how it works. 0, 4, yeah, where did it go? Okay, that's kind of weird. I push 1, and it opens the tech menu. It appears to only show if you have a selection somehow. What time? I would like this thing to show me okay, there we go. That's what I want. Oh, I see. I don't want to click that. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this timer thing to show up somewhere where I can see it. So, what ships do I want to specialize in? I like missile corvettes because they're long range. They don't do nearly as much damage. Next wave in negative time. I think there was a bug report about that. I don't know if it just launched, I guess. No? Alright, so yeah. Bug report about negative wave timer. Not kidding. Alright, so let's go ahead and get some bombers. Okay, so I want the so is it producing? Okay, I'm seeing some higher mark ships here. No. Yeah, it looks like the metal number is kind of is wrapping around or something. Yeah. Make sure metal storage has enough space to show even when it gets to 7, 8, 9 digits. Well, it might be that they're just maxed out on metal, but make sure metal flow analysis shows. That's where it kind of tells you like how many seconds it's going to take to fulfill all the orders that are on it. Yeah, in general, it's not so great that you can't really see these things. Yeah, it's just there's a limited amount I can do about the build menu buttons until we can show the icons on the build menu buttons. I don't know that we can do that yet, but I'll make a note to check with Chris on whether we can show ship icons on build menu items or other buttons. Because, yeah, I mean, it's just not going to work to show all of that. Alright, so, we've stopped building more because we've run out of fuel. Okay. Okay, oh boy, oh boy. Yes, welcome to a Mark IV planet where shields? What shields? You don't have any shields. How do I still have an arc? Do I still have an arc? Okay. That was interesting. I don't think I still have an arc. I think I have lost the game. Wow. Yeah, my stealth starships are still somehow alive. But they're being slowed down by local gravity. That's why they stopped moving. So, that was exciting. That was apparently what happens when you run to a Mark IV planet without being prepared. I didn't realize it was quite that bad. I've taken them before. Now, interestingly, there's nothing that actually stops me from continuing to play, but I don't have anything that can actually capture another planet again, ever again, or repair a flagship like this one here. And in general, the idea is if you lose your arc, the game's over. So, when you lose your arc, tell the player that the game is over, or has been lost. Okay, well, I guess that makes a natural stopping point. Boy. Alright, well, let's call that a video then. Thanks for watching, thanks for your interest in the project and your support. Hope you enjoyed watching me die horribly. Turnabout is fair play, I guess. And I will see you guys next time.